Producer Emily Rubin has strategically placed me over here, Ben, so I will not be tempted to look the wrong way.
Yeah, we're right here.
Yes,
in the boxes.
Right on.
Yeah.
And I just want to get it right over to you because there is a lot of strange stuff happening weather-wise.
That is true, yes. As we go on through tonight, we have cooler, much cooler in our northern half, much warmer in the southern half, and then rain and a few storms rolling through later tonight. So here's the first thing to think about. Usually if you have a line of storms coming in from Alabama and a wedge is in place for us like it is now with much cooler air, it's a different atmosphere, and usually it'll knock the storms down a pretty good bit. So as long as we stay with that, that's probably going to be the plan. 49 in Perry, those flags also going right to left. That's a northerly flow. If we see them start to change going the other way, that means a warm front lifting up is starting to warm things up from the south. So we'll say rain likely tonight, some gusty wind possible. This is a wild looking map. I've seen some pronounced wedges out there over the years, but this one really takes the cake because we have 36, 37 in Forsyth, 80. We've seen that in our southern counties. So there's a quick jump up. You could take a short car ride and be in a totally different atmosphere in an hour and a half. So there's a look at the radar, and what we're seeing is rain starting to move in. This is not the main thing. That's later on tonight. But as you can see, we get into our southeastern or southwestern counties, I should say. Taylor, Macon County, getting into Crawford and Peach and Dooley. This will eventually roll into Macon and Warner Robins in a little bit. But again, mainly just regular old rain. So let's go back toward the west. We'll slide the map over here, and you can see tornado watches and warnings. But again, a totally different atmosphere over here as you get into Alabama. It's not even the same thing. So that's why they are in a level 3, which is halfway up the scale. As we go on through tonight, storms get a little closer. They drop down to a level 2 and then eventually down to a level 1, which is, of course, the lowest end of the scale. So in other words, this is not a high risk thing for severe weather for us tonight, but something for us to keep an eye on. There's overnight into tomorrow morning, a little low end, level 1 for our southern counties. So here's a look at future view. It's not what we call it, initializing correctly right now because it's not picking up on the rain that we are seeing come in, but the idea is there. We get into 8, 9 o'clock tonight. We're still waiting on these storms that are back off toward the west. There's 10 o'clock, so really kind of uneventful for most of this evening into tonight. Even as we get into midnight, it's still way on back toward the north and west. It's looking more like kind of a 3 to 4 in the morning, knocking on the door in our northwestern counties and then rolling through. So I think at least heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds. This is not overly impressive looking. I've seen much bigger, potential severe weather events than this. So this is on the low end. But again, we'll keep an eye on it just in case. Sometimes in some of this further down the line, especially in a different atmosphere, you can see a couple of brief spin-ups there. But for us, mainly rain, but there could be some gusty winds. There's 5 in the morning. Let's go forward. 6, 7 in the morning. Starting to move on into our southeastern counties, 9, 10 o'clock, and then by mid-morning to lunchtime. That'll do it. And then a northwesterly wind will come in. The rest of tomorrow looks great, and we'll keep it going like that as we get into Friday. So Friday, really tomorrow and Friday are the break day, and then eventually we'll get into a rain chance again Saturday. This takes us out into mid-morning Saturday. I think the possibility for rain is there Saturday. It's not great, but it's more so Sunday morning on that next wave. All right, so here's a look at the wedge in place. We'll see where the numbers go tonight. If this warm front lifts a little bit tonight, you may find the numbers warming up as we head toward the overnight into tomorrow morning, and then the actual wave of rain will come in. So we'll see how it goes. Again, it's just knowing where you are on the map. Farther north you are, much colder and much warmer south. I mean, it looks like a 40-degree spread or more out there from our northern counties to our southern counties. 60s tomorrow. We'll chill out a little more as we go into Friday morning with some 30s, and then Friday afternoon, looking at mainly 50s kind of in the mix. And as far as the wind is concerned, you can see underneath where that warm area is a 25 to 30 mile per hour wind. So you'll have a breeze tonight regardless of whether you ever hear thunder or anything. It's still going to be a little windy in our southern half coming in out of the south. And then as the rain clears through, we'll have that little breeze out of the northwest tomorrow. So what's the takeaway? What do you really think, weatherman? I hear that one a lot. I think rain tonight, maybe a little bit breezy. The severe threat is low, but it is not zero. So something that we will watch. Dave, how are you?
I'm doing good.